My oh my, episode 6. Hello, everybody, and welcome back for the 6th episode of the Superpower Hours for the Next Gen Racing League. I'm your host. Thank you. Yep, right on. I'm your host, as always, Joshua Temple. I am joined by my two beautiful looking colleagues. Starting off with the first one, Mr. Nep. Nep, welcome back, bub.
Thank you, Josh. Glad to be back. Heads up. I guess I'm coming down with some type of cold or whatever, or throat issues, so I might sound a little hoarse. So just bear with me, guys.
You still sound sexy. We appreciate you showing up.
I sound like the start of a Michael Bay movie. In a world.
And next we have, as always, Shiesty. Welcome back, bub.
Thank you. I'm excited. Another great show tonight for sure, and let's get this sucker on the roll.
Things are going to be a little bit different, so I'm excited to see what that turns about and unfolds. But, of course, as always, Mr. DJ Bames over there on the soundboard. Appreciate him as well.
Yep. DJ's my dad.
Yep. Okay. and with that, let's go to the table of contents. We're starting off with Nep's Meet the Xfinity Heroes with a Twist and Superpower Hours Power Version, Nep Dog's Weekly Race Report, Shiesty's Eagle Eye, then Temple's Round. Enough of me talking. Let me get the floor over to Mr. Nep.
Appreciate it, Josh. Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode of Nep Meet the Xfinity Heroes. Like Josh said, we have a little twist this week. The Xfinity guys, due to the Super Bowl, decided to, take the week off. They're going to run an interesting situation next week. So, with that being said, no Xfinity race. So, no Xfinity race or drivers this week. So here are 4 of your top 5 drivers in the Cup points. Welcoming to the show, we've got the one, the man, the myth, the legend, Samo.
How we doing, guys?
Doing good, bud. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming on the show, bud.
Oh, thanks for having me again. Absolutely. Glad I could make it.
Also, along with him, another one of the Carolina boys, Mr. Redneck Nation.
How's it going, fellas? Thanks for having me.
Along with him, is he here?
He will be late. He will be late.
Oh, Speedy's late. Yeah, he's all. He's probably still trying to figure out how to draw a caution for the podcast. And
damn.
Along with that, and the last person to introduce is no more than my teammate over at PPR Racing, Mr. Soundsman, Baines.
I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss.
Baines, welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you.
Well, guys, we're really kicking off this season. This season going strong. We're in week 6. As we'll get to it here in a little bit, 4 of y'all are sitting there battling right hard for the points and all that. What type of changes have y'all had to make from the old game to this new game?
I can take that over if you want. I can start with that question. One of the biggest changes is planning your car out for the long run rather than just a flat out fast car like you could in the old game. You know what I mean? Taking care of your stuff is huge in this game, and realizing that
Bottom
after the
control.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly, slower is faster, big time, for sure.
It's not all about putting a fast lap down. I mean, there's certain times and places for it. There's just not trying to do it every single lap.
Well,
It's
Right.
good to.
Consistency is key.
Like people always say, yeah, fast lap is nice, but if you can't do it every single lap, then the only time that it really matters is qualifying. But if Samo goes out there and runs a fast lap, uh, say we're at a track and he hits a 34, and Reb, you come out, but he only hits it that one time, but then he's running 34.6s, while you're running a consistent 34.3 every single lap. You're going to catch them, and so.
And stability. Stability
Exactly.
is another big one this time. Keeping able to. Heck, I struggle with it. The car wanting to kick coming off the exits whenever you're trying to stay full throttle, and not come down on the person and door them to death, because it's just as far as clean respect racing goes. I mean, everybody understands the door is going to happen from time to time, but the ultimate goal is try to keep it clean, stay in yours, and do your best.
Right.
One thing
Yeah.
I've learned: the side draft is more crucial in this. It'll suck you right into a car.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You know,
Side
I
draft and momentum. Momentum. Just keeping your
Yes.
momentum up. You know what I mean? It doesn't really, the full out top speed doesn't matter, but the momentum is huge,
Mm-hmm.
and it takes laps to build. Believe it or not.
It
And like
does.
you said about the draft, like it changes your car in the draft more than I feel like it did in Heat 5. Like in Heat
I
5,
forget which.
you could keep your car the same and drive it the same in a
Yeah.
draft.
Yeah.
And this actually is like
What?
tightening you up and sucking you to the wall.
Well, that actually happened in I think, what was it, Daytona? I was drafting behind, Reb actually, and I, naturally went to go let up into turn. Well, be it whether the bubble, as we all talk about, got him a little loose or whatever, but he moved up the track and just in just that split second he tried to come back down, but the draft just sucked me right beside him and he come right down on me, and I had a little help behind me, gave me a little boost, but also that draft just kind of, once I came off his back bumper, it just shot me, moved me right beside him, and you know in the old game, he would have had enough time to react and come back down, and that would have never happened. So it's something guys really got to pay attention to, especially at the plate tracks.
I'm glad Smo said momentum, because that, to be honest, it's the last few tracks as far as Charlotte goes and Vegas goes. That's been the two biggest ones to me here recently when it comes to momentum and needing to just basically Kyle Larson it, because the low line, you're losing a mile or two an hour per straightaway, like by the backstretch, and it shows on lap times and distance in between people.
Right. And God forbid you just tap coming out of the corner
Oh
out of four.
God.
For some reason, mid corner or corner entry doesn't affect the car as much, but you tap it coming out of turn 4 and either of those tracks, and you lose 20 miles an hour to the
Mm-hmm.
guys behind you. It's
Easily.
insane.
Oh God, it's terrible. I've been the king of it here lately. It feels like.
Oh, it'll crush you.
Not to mention some of them tracks. If you enter too low, no matter what you do and how much you're getting on the brake and turning your wheel, it's just going to suck you right up to the outside wall.
Mm-hmm.
I had it happen a couple of times, man. There'd be a car on my outside, so I had to enter the turn lower than what I want to, and my car, I'm sitting there on the brake, fucking downshifting, got my wheel turned fucking 180 degrees, trying to
Yeah.
keep from running them up into the wall, and the car just would not freaking stay down.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
And that's another thing about this game. It's showing the setup does matter as far as in-game steering setup and your wheel ratio, whatnot, because the right front shows a difference. There's different things you can do, but it does base by driving style a little bit.
You can manipulate the shit out of your car just on settings.
So that's starting to see all these little things are starting to get figured out, which I might be late on, but that's just due to lack of time being able to get on. But
yeah, the ratio is making a big difference, and I'm seeing a short track to guys on controllers is just wow, big difference, big difference,
big time.
Oh, that's a conversation for a later part in the show.
Yep.
You know, there's a lot of things with this new game that, in Heat 5, people could, you said it, Rev, you can't get on as much as you'd like to. In Heat 5, you could show up 2 minutes before the race and you're good to go. But with this game and with the configurations and all in this game, I cannot emphasize how much getting on and practicing, and not just going to quick race and doing solo, getting together with the rest of the league and getting a good sized field for practicing, because I think that's one thing that's hurting us is we might have 5 or 6 guys that gets on and practice. Well, that's fine, but then when we go to race, we've got 18 guys in there, and half of them hasn't even touched the game since the last race. So, it's something we're kicking around, up in the upper levels and all that of management and all that. But whether you want to call it a mandatory or whatever, but like now that we've made the change to where, cup guys, only a few cup guys that are basically just down there to observe the Xfinity guys while they're running their race on Sundays. We really need to have everybody that's going to run Monday and Tuesday night to be in that practice lobby so we can practice as a league. That way, maybe we can avoid some of the issues that we've been having at some of these tracks.
And you learn a lot. I mean, hell, I learn. Every time I get on here, I learn something.
We were, before the show, we were sitting around just kind of chewing the fat and all that. And Samo said it best. He said, he has learned who he can basically work around, or who, if he comes up on him, he wants to get by him as quick as possible. Or
I got to pause you for 2 seconds, Nep. Somehow I got a fucking shout out for you. Rooster wants to say that you're the GOAT. That's all you wanted.
Rooster.
We'll be right back.
All right, continue on.
Hey, welcome to the show, Speedy.
What up, Ned?
What's going on, buddy?
Perfect timing. All right.
Is it?
Yeah.
It ain't got no gas in it.
That was a couple races ago. But no, what I was saying is, before the show, we were all sitting there and talking, and Samo had mentioned, he has been able to learn who he can just maybe ride behind a couple of laps and, wait for the right moment to make the pass. And then there's other he'll come up on that I do not want to be around this person. Let me get around them. So, I see, I got criticism in one of the chats, because I have a tendency that if I'm a lap car and the leaders are coming to me, I'll move completely out of the damn way and slow down and just let them go by. I won't race them, and then there's some that they'll race you just like they're running for position, and, there's nothing wrong with that, but, it's a courtesy matter to me.
Just remember it when the roles are reversed. That's all I got to say.
Well, if I'm ever running for a win, the world's done fell apart, okay?
No, not to you. I'm just saying the people who want to race you whenever, that it's that time of the race. I mean, especially really hard.
Oh, yeah. And that's one thing, you've got those guys that they'll wear your fucking door out.
Mm-hmm.
But then if you get into them, they're whining like a little baby that you just towed their fucking pacifier.
Get fucked!
Yeah, pretty much.
Would shout out to Josh and Samo, and I think it was JP for some of the best racing there at the end of that one stage I've ever experienced.
Stage 2, I want to say, right?
Yes,
Stage
that was
2.
probably the first time I've been able to say I was racing, I gave it about all as I could. Just full on and just try to keep it clean. And it worked.
As hard as possible, yeah.
But yes, on a track like that. But shout out to all of y'all. That was hands on the best racing I've ever experienced, probably.
Lap after lap, yeah, for sure.
Yes.
I mean, I feel, with just the panel that we have here, y'all's the front runners of this league. You got Smo sitting there with 3 wins. Reb, you've got a couple wins.
One.
Well,
but trying to get a couple.
You're right there every week.
Yeah.
I thought you had multiple wins. My bad.
A couple stage wins.
That's right. You're the one that's got 1 win. Josh has got, because of last night, he's got 2 wins.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got Trigun coming in, and he's got 2 wins. So, you can see the talent, and us guys in the back, we're doing everything we can to try to, make a good run for whatever position we can scrape up. Sometimes we get lucky. Sometimes it just doesn't happen that way.
I want to put it in the last Xfinity season. I was that guy who couldn't get a win until it sparked. I ran all the way to like the last 4 or 5 races left of the season before I got my first win. But I was there.
Then he didn't stop.
Yeah, he got 3 of them.
Yeah, he got hot.
Well, see, but that shows you when it sparks, it sparks. You might run all season long and not get it, but when the time's right, it can be right and can continue. You just got to keep on keeping on.
I don't think he sparked. I think it was just an explosion from one race to another. There was just an explosion at some point.
Well, some of these tracks, we run either we run the track again or we run a track similar to it. Go back to, I think it was Martinsville. And one thing I've noticed in the past is people get a couple laps down, they just automatically back out. I could be 20 laps down. I'm going to complete every lap in the race because sooner or later I'm going to learn from my mistakes that caused me to go 20 laps down, so that next time I'm at that track, maybe I can finish on the lead lap or something. So I can't count how many, I can say this for me because I'm usually a mid-pack guy. I can't tell you how many times I've gained positions just by staying out there and racing, because people just, they get ill because of actions on the track, and I get it. Sometimes you get frustrated and all, but the worst thing you can do is quit. I mean, your team owners sit there and look at you, and they think, well, shoot, if I've got somebody that's going to quit every race, then maybe I need to replace them because they're hurting me in the owner's points.
Amen.
But anyway,
really when my game
we
crashed
can
I'm trying to get replaced.
Yeah. We could drag this on, and I'm sure we got lots of talks with y'all guys. So I appreciate y'all coming on the show. By all means, fill it. When we get to the other segments and all that, chime in. That's what y'all's here for, to give us y'all's point of view and stuff. So, but with that being said, we're gonna move on to the next segment.
Shiesty, you're up the bat, brother.
Yeah, buddy. All right, Superpower Hours. Power Vision is back, and just a quick recap here on last week. We predicted the race for Bristol and Charlotte and Xfinity Bristol. Nep had the icebreaker. We didn't run Xfinity Bristol because of the Super Bowl. Everybody had their bucks on Samo this week at Bristol. It was 100% everybody. If not, it was everybody.
Wrong.
At Charlotte, Josh and Nep had Reb winning. Do you guys care to explain reasoning or just keep Keep her rolling.
Yeah, dude, I'll fucking explain it. You kidding me? It's fucking Reb. I mean, he
that's
in
enough.
my eyes, speed wise, that's the top 2 in the fucking league. That's where I'm at. So that's why I chose the
That's
motherfucker.
that was kind of my pick too. Also, here's the thing with Reb. And the same reason why I was hoping to go out there and have a good running, it's our home track. You know, that it's the closest track to us. So, you want to do good there because you're like, hey, this is my home track. It's probably the track that, I can't speak for Reb, but
Oh no, yeah, that's
he's
it.
he's probably been there a zillion times. So when you come to Charlotte, Reb's going to want to perform. It's almost like if in real life, if we're real life NASCAR, we're coming to Charlotte, all of our family's going to be there. So
I
you really
daydream of
want to,
driving that track when I'm at Charlotte.
man. I tell you, every year this year for Christmas, I went down there for the light show that they
Yep.
have there, and just being able to drive on the track, it's almost like fulfilling a lifelong dream of mine to run on a NASCAR track. If they'd let me, I'd open the sumbitch up.
Right.
Yeah. But so go ahead.
As for myself and you guys, we had JPR winning this week at Charlotte, and
Oh, I had
It was-
JPR myself too. Being a teammate, I thought JPR was going to come out here.
it was a great voting. I mean, you had JPR, Bames, and Josh all top 3, 13%. JPR has a good fast car on throttle control tracks, as long as he doesn't make a mistake or shit don't happen. Same thing with Josh, and it was a mile and a half, so I understand Bames being up there, of course. Samo, Reb, and Beer Stick. Samo, Reb, and Beer Stick, all at 9%. Again, just reliable guys at mile and a half. Really, those two anywhere. And then Beer Stick, he's got speed whenever he can make it. As far as the rankings go for the Power Hour Power Vision, it's the public, the viewers, the audience. You guys are on top. Everybody, though, this week, nobody had a right prediction for either of the cup races. As far as next week goes, we got a doubleheader for Xfinity, and then we have our 2 races for Cup. For Bristol, Josh goes with Heavy D. Nep goes with Mountain Dew Man. I myself take Heavy D. Bames has Mountain Dew Man. And then the public and Trickle both take Josh. As far as Kansas goes, that'll be the second race of next week. Josh, myself, Bames, and the public all have Josh. And then we got 2 sneaky Lakilas in there. Anybody want to touch on that? Actually, Josh, touch on that.
Well,
That's what she said.
Damn it, I fucking chose myself, but yeah, I'll speak on. I mean, in all seriousness,
It's Lakil. You love talking about him.
Just ran a couple practices with him the other day, probably like Saturday or some shit, or Sunday or something like that. We ran at Bristol and in Kansas, and he beat us both times at both tracks. He didn't have the fastest car, but he was the most consistent. So, yeah, that will be interesting to see. And since, especially since the field's now cut lower, cut shorter, less drivers. That means some of these guys are going to be able to feel the cars out and be more comfortable earlier in the run. You're going to see some interesting action down that Xfinity race. I'll tell you that.
right.
Now, Nep, you voted for Lakil.
Right.
What
And
did
here's
you
the
see?
thing. Okay. I'm looking back at Vegas in the Cup Series, and the killer got to run a hot seat, and he really took initiative into how he ran that race. Even though he's not a regular Cup guy, he come up there and he did damn good. So I've been on many a times of practicing with him, and you can damn near rest assured that he's on every single day. He's getting that practice and he's learning these tracks. So I think he's got the ability to run with the guys up front down there in the Xfinity Series. So that's why I went with Lakilla. I wouldn't even really call it a shocker if he does pull it off, honestly. He's putting things together.
Tell you what, now I'm excited for that Kansas race.
Right? I wish there was a spectator mode just so we could watch it.
I will be streaming live.
Now, hey, there we go. Monday we go to WWT, Worldwide Tech, Gateway, whatever you want to call it. Josh has Samo, and the public also has Samo winning. Nep, you took Trigun here. Bames, you took yourself. Trickle took himself, and I ended up having Speedy. It was a toss-up between Speedy and Trickle. I know they both really like that track. Trickle has a lot of speed at WWT. As far as Richmond, that's our Tuesday race.
Tuesday!
Exactly. It's almost a clean sweep for Trigun, but Nep has Speedy at Richmond. I don't know how to think about the fucking controller to wheel on short tracks yet. I feel like Trigun's gonna 100% either run away with it or
that was one of my reasons for picking Trigun at WWT. Because I feel he's gonna have. We've seen how he did it Martinsville with the tight turn, and I think being on the controller, I think that's going to give him a benefit or advantage going into turn 1 and 2 there at WWT. So
I mean, let's be clear too. At Charlotte, that first stage was all him. He drove away from everybody. So I don't think it's just short tracks. I think it's pretty much anything as a
raw
whole.
speed.
Yeah, but like that man was moving, and finally we all must have figured some shit out because the playing field got so leveled as the race went on. But yeah, no, I'd say I think he's gonna have Richmond easy. Worldwide Tech. That's why I went with Samo. That's Samo's baby. That's Samo's baby. I think you'll see him go out there and snag another one this season.
Now that is all I have for this this Superpower Hours Power Vision. I'm gonna send it off to Nep here. And Nep, take it away.
We'll be right back. I am the hype!
I don't know about height, but anyway, thank you, Shiesty and Bames. Welcome everybody to Nep Dog's weekly race report. Only have 2 races to go over this week, but with the no Xfinity races due to Super Bowl, that means a doubleheader this coming Sunday. Them boys are really because they got Bristol and they got 2 different style tracks that they're going to be running. Fast short track like Bristol, and then they go over to Kansas, so the 1.5 miles. So it's going to be interesting to see how they can make that transition from that short track and then going immediately to a 1.5 mile track. So, but with that being said, let's get to the action. Starting off was Monday night. We was at Bristol in the Cup Series. Reb goes out there with a blistering 13.355 to capture the pole. But there was a tie for the pole. Speedy as well. You nabbed a 13.355 in qualifying, but due to point standings, Reb was able to claim the pole. So, kudos to you, Reb. I'm
fast as fuck, boy.
For
Thanks,
real.
sir.
Bristol. When we go to Bristol, it's got we always wonder what type of show we're going to get. Is it going to be a caution fest, or is it going to be good, smooth racing? And before I even go over the recap of that race, no cautions throughout the entire race other than ending stages. So to be able to run as many laps as we did at Bristol, and not have any major cautions, major issues that brought out cautions and all that, phenomenal driving, guys. Hats off to everybody. Stage 1 goes out there. Trigun able to capture the stage 1 win. And going into stage 2, able to make adjustments. Speedy was able to take the checker flag to end stage 2, giving him a stage win. I'm on real quick. We talk about the front running guys, but another guy that's came on strong here lately is Sharton. He finished top 10, 10th place in both stages, and he had a pretty good run at Charlotte as well. So hats off to Sharton.
Yeah, me and him got an incident at the end of the race that he got spun. I mean, it was completely unintentional. He got, I guess, loose and come down over the front of my car, got spun, but he was having a real good race till then.
Right. But
Sure.
we go into the final stage. It's time to knuckle up and drive. And here comes Mr. Trigun. Captures the win, marking a back-to-back as he'd won the previous race at Martinsville. Is the big question is Trigun looking to be the short track king?
Wrong.
Smo was able to finish second. Trickle came in third. Shiesty came in fourth. Speedy finished fifth. Trickle actually captured the fastest lap with a 15.170. So, pretty good racing. Really wasn't no major issues. Some people did, there was a couple of times where come out of one of the turns and your ass end just washed out from underneath you. But like I said, it was a damn good race. Then comes the longest race of the season. Last night we ran Charlotte. No, it's not wrong. Charlotte Motor Speedway. What's that?
I said for me, it wasn't the longest race of the season.
Oh yeah, it was the fastest race for you. 4 laps
Never
in, and
life.
you said I'm done with
this. Never in my
this.
life have I gotten there.
It was the Coca-Cola 300, and you ran the Coca-Cola 0.5. But anyway, Trigun comes out there and captures the pole with a 30.858.
Let me stop you there. That is an impressive lap for no setups. A 30.585 something. A 30.8 period. I don't care if it's a 9.9 is impressive on a stock setup on a controller.
Because you figure with that race, he also had the fastest lap in the race, which was only a 29.853. So with a base setup, he's only 1 second off of
Right.
adjustments lap. So yeah,
So another thing I want to touch on that I noticed qualifying, setting up the lineups. He's the only one that even broke the 30s on the base setup in that qualifying session. Not
He's the only one that broke the 30s ever on the base setup, even in practices. The
or
ones
31s on the base setup or whatever it was.
broke into the 30s.
30s, yes, correct.
Yeah.
I got a 30.9 on base. I'm pretty sure that was my qualifying time.
I can pull it up real quick.
Yeah, because you can.
I definitely
No, 'cause
had
I got
like
a 30.
Somebody got
31-0.
Jeopardy.
I got a
Yeah.
31-0, and I was on the outside.
I had a 31-0 and I got
Oh,
fourth
okay.
fastest.
That must have been after adjustments. I'm sorry. My bad.
Yep.
Apologies.
He was blistering. That's a crazy qualifying time for base setup.
Right. All I can say, we know Trigun's on a controller. Guys like, the other guys that are on controllers, I'd be getting a hold of Trigun and saying, hey, what's your controller settings? Because it's working for you. I might need to try it. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, back to racing action. Stage 1, we get out there. No cautions in stage 1s. Clean racing. Trigun's able to capture stage 1 win. In stage 2, we take off. Some good racing. There was 2 cautions in stage 2 that led, but when the dust settled, Smo was able to capture the stage win. Stage 3, the only race. There's 4 stages in this race. Stage 3, we go out there, no cautions again. A good stage. Redneck. That stage, you were fucking moving. You passed me at one point, and I just felt like I was just sitting still. You had that Mark Martin throwback rocking and rolling around that track. You captured stage 3 win. Getting ready for that last stage to finalize the race. And then I don't know if it, there was 3 or 4 cautions came out in that. And I don't know if it was like last stage, so people pushing more, whatever the case may be, or I've noticed with this game, and it could just be me, but the track surface truly changes as the race goes on. So a setup that might work at the beginning of the race, you got to tweak with throughout the race, because otherwise, by the end of the race, it was kind of, you're loose in places that you wasn't. But we go out there, and race ended under caution with Josh taking the win, followed by Samo, Redneck, Trickle in 4th, and Trigun finished 5th. While we've got y'all in here, it's something different that we don't usually do. Let's talk about that final stage, guys. Was it just hard racing, or was it just maybe people tired, or just pushing the envelope?
Oh, you know what I think it is? I think everybody got so much better throughout the race. Speeds were up, so the cars were super on edge, and I think that's probably what caused a couple more of those cautions.
And I do know that I know about myself. I loosen the car up even more towards the end of the race because I'm not trying to preserve tires or anything like that. So it is harder to handle on restarts and shit like that. I don't know if that had anything to do with it or if it was just lack of give and take.
I got one. This is via Rowdy Rooster. People driving like cunts. Yes, sir. There's also that. But no, in all seriousness, I mean, being a part of the craziness that was the front 5 most of the time, dude, we were just pushing hard. And, like, that's why you were seeing the breaks. Like I went and watched a bunch of replays today. The top 4, top 5 would just break away from the field because they were all able just push their cars that little extra and just get the fuck away. And everyone from 6th back were always like in a rat's nest, and just people were pushing it too hard at times, and that was causing the extra cautions.
You know, and we had 3 or 4 cautions that were thrown, but I
was 2 laps
something's
down at one point in that race. I had no bad luck.
and
Me
with your
too.
situation,
Me too, Rev.
It was
it
terrible.
was that's one thing that I was about to touch on.
Say that you're fine.
That's one thing that I was about to touch on. It's a win-lose situation. We run strict cautions so that we actually get to race, but the game, iRacing, whoever's over it, have really got to figure something out because there was several times there where a caution should have came out. I get it if one car spins out and there's plenty of time, but there was times where 2, 3 cars were spun out and the caution never came out. But yet, if we run strict, you get one person just tap the wall and spin out, and then the caution's coming out. So it's like, can we get like a setting between relax and strict? It's one of those things. It's out of the control. Either, especially coming from management and all that. It's like people tell us all the time, well, relax cautions, it's bullshit, cautions ain't coming out. And I get that. But then if we go and run strict cautions, then we got people coming at us like, well, damn, we can't even run a race because it's all cautions and we're running 5 green flag laps. So it's like a win-lose situation, so, and there's no way in hell, unless we could start getting everybody that's going to run to show up for a practice, I'm not even going to acknowledge manual cautions, because that's definitely something.
Race.
Yeah, that's something you got to have everybody in the race on the same page. So I don't even think that's an option. So I don't want to run strict. Really don't want to run strict because the key is being able to run good races. And for the most part, I mean, we have good races. We've been getting a lot of green flag pit stops here lately. And that makes the racing fun because now it's like, other than Trickle going in and taking 2 tires to try to get advantage, which bit them in the ass and a couple other people at one track. Gay! Bonehead, award of the race goes to that one. But, I can't knock them because, sometimes you got to take those gambles. They do it in actual NASCAR. Everybody's taking 4. Well, you know what? I'm going to take 2, and hopefully, these 2 will keep me up there while these guys that's on 4 wears them out, and then we're equally matched. So I can't knock him for it. And just unfortunately, in that situation, it blew up in his face. I did notice the ghost cars this week didn't seem near as bad as last week, but that's also another that's another thing we really can't that we can't really do much about that except for Bames switching from Dollar Tree internet to Dollar General internet so he don't blow his motor in lap 4.
We'll be right back.
But anywho, with that being said, let's look at the point system. After this week of racing, Samoa's sitting on top with 466 points. Reb nipping at his tail with 440 points in second. JPR sitting there in third with 431 points. Speedy, sitting there without a win. JP and Speedy, I feel they're like right there on the verge of getting a win. But Speedy sitting there with 412 points. Trigun sitting there with 402 points. 6th through 10th goes Trickle, Bames, Shiesty, Beer Stick. Honorable mention to Beer Stick. He missed this week due to had to have surgery, have his gallbladder removed. Prayers out to you, brother, and hopefully you're able to come back soon. I had my gallbladder removed in 2019, so I know it's not fun, that's for sure. Josh in there in 10th place in points. And, Josh is a part-time guy, and he's hanging up there in the 10th. Unfortunately, he's at 7 races. He's only got 11 more to go, so it'd be interesting to see how hard he goes in those last 11 races and where he ends up.
Oh, I'm taking a top 16 spot. It's just I'm just robbing a spot. That's all I'm doing.
Well, we'll see about that there, brother. I don't know. If I'm sitting there in 17th and I need the spot,
you want to see some rules get made real quick, Josh.
I might
exactly,
get fired
that's what I'm hearing.
from this. This might be a drama-rama. I'm kidding. But anyways, 11th through 16th, you got MB, Rowdy, Sharton, Nepdog, Ford, and Wolfie Man. And then right there, you look at 16th, Wolfie Man sitting with 253 points. Right above him is Ford with 254 points, so 1 point separate them. But sitting in 17th place is Rooster with 247 points. So, he's right there. So, good battle, about to brew between teammates, possibly to get into the playoffs. Big Mike's in there with 229 points, and NASCAR's sitting there with 214 points. So, the points are shaping up, looking good, guys. A good battle, and we're only 6 weeks in, so we still got a lot of racing to go. Looking at team points, High Life Racing or High Life Motorsports sitting there at the top with 3 wins and 1,337 points. God, my throat is fucking killing me.
That's what she said.
Good placement. Outlaw Racing is sitting there in second with 17 with 3 wins. Dark Horse, a team that many thought was going to be the favorite this season, are the one team with no wins, and they're sitting at 1,301 points.
Yeah, but that might even be more impressive, that the fact that they have no wins and they're only
exactly
less than 40 points back.
Points out.
That's pretty good for them.
Yeah,
sure.
If they can start pulling in some wins and all, that's going to jump them drastic. But yeah, because you look at PPR, and unfortunately we've got 2 wins over here, but we've only got 1,153 points. So
I feel shocked.
Well, we got to get our shit together, Bames.
We'll be right back.
Did Bames come off 2 wins? Wait a second.
Yeah, Bames does have our 2 wins, so
Yep.
And then naturally would never be competing for this season for the Owners Championship because it's only 1 car. So, but Dumpster Fire, Motorsports sitting there with 317 points, and hell, they got 2 wins. So,
Okay.
looking real, things are really kicking. But that's all I have for tonight, guys. Till next week, I appreciate y'all. And Shiesty, take it away.
Thanks, man. Time.
I told you you needed more glitter.
All right. Time for Shiesty's Eagle Eye. Got some questions for the panel, the guest panel, the hosts. First one. Who are some drivers this season that have stood out through the good, the bad, or the ugly in the Cup Series? This is for everybody and anybody.
That's a hard one. I haven't put any thought into that
Yeah.
one.
Well, good. I'm doing my job then.
Well,
Let's go
we
with the
can't
obvious. Trigun
Yeah, Trigun.
has stood out for sure.
Shiesty waits till about 5 minutes before the damn show to get us the damn questions, so we can't even, pre-think about these answers. So we're just like y'all. We're getting them fresh as well. So, MB, he hasn't. He doesn't have a win, but he is always up there. And unfortunately, sometimes he gets tangled into some stuff and gets them messed up and all, but he's always running it, at least a top 10 and all that. So, without, calling out the obvious guys, like the Speedies and the Samos and Reb, who's always a front running car, if I'm looking at, back of the field, I'm looking at guys, Bames has got set, we ran 10 races and he's got 7 top 10s. Shiesty's in there with 6 top 10s. So
I'd say Beer Sticks. I mean, I know he wasn't here this past week, but he's been running real good.
yeah, I think if Beer Stick would have been there, he probably would have been up there competing in the top 10. So
now there is one name
Charter's
here.
been doing good.
I'll go the other way than what everybody's doing because they're avoiding the other 2 options. Very underperforming driver. Shiesty, hold up a mirror real quick.
Yeah.
You gotta pick it up, man. You're faster than that. Everybody knows it.
I felt like I'm
Rowdy's
coming alive
number 2.
here in the last 2 weeks, but
I was
yeah,
just
that's
about to say,
the
Josh.
driver
I'd say, yeah, Rowdy,
listen to this stat. Speedy with 3 poles and Rowdy with no poles. Now think back to past seasons.
Rowdy was
for somebody like a Speedy to have that short run, super fast car to have 3 poles already, and Speedy to have Rowdy to have none. That is very surprising.
Right.
What else?
They also shouted out Reb. JPR shouted out Reb as a good driver.
No, that motherfucker was always good.
Yeah, 10 starts.
Boss.
And no surprises there. That motherfucker's always good.
We look at
didn't really stand
Reb's,
out. I just expected that one.
Reb stats: 10 races, 1 win, 4 stage wins, 6 top 5s, 8 top 10s. Fast lap, he's gotten 1 and with 1 pole. He's got an average start of 4.0 with an average finish of a 6.4.
Look at Smo with 4.3. That man, hey, that's the one I still look up to him. So I still try to get behind him and learn. If y'all want to learn, that's who you follow behind right there. That's who I learned from.
Every time I'm around Samo, half the times I've ever caught him and passed him, it's because I follow him for 10 laps and see like where he lifts. Because I learned so much just in 10 laps of following him around the track. Like just lines, where to lift, how to pass.
Oh yeah,
just
most
follow him
definitely
through the field. Like it's crazy.
Most
Yeah,
definitely.
I mean, but like with MB, he's got an average. If he can learn that short, qualifying situation, I think he's going to be even better because he's got an average starting of 13.4, but then his average finishes an 8.7. So.
So
Just to
this
clean up his
next
first stage,
one,
MB, I'm sorry. MB just has to clean up his first stage, and he would do a lot better throughout the races. He's playing in reverse every single race.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta agree there. I seen it firsthand at Charlotte this week. Both went a lap down and ran over half the race trying to get our laps back.
Yeah, I'm not saying y'all don't. But from my little advice, best thing I know to tell everybody is just have patience. Literally, just run your little race right there. It doesn't matter if you're first, third, fifth, or 10th. I mean, yeah, of course you want to score some stage points, but learn your race. Learn what's going to make your car good before you try to charge to the front with a bad handling car and just take yourself out. Just patience. I promise it'll all come to you.
So with the rest of the season, what are you guys looking forward to the most? Is it a specific track? Is it the playoffs or maybe the silly season, quote unquote, coming up?
Silly season, 100%. No, I have a question. I'm gonna follow it up. Are we gonna run the Roval in the playoffs, or are we gonna run the oval like they're doing in actual NASCAR?
We're going to run the Roval.
Oh shit.
We already had planned on running the Roval. It doesn't matter what NASCAR decides because the thing is, you can't choose. If they had Charlotte set up to where you could pick the two different styled races, from the Coca-Cola 600 to, then maybe would try to, but to run that Coca-Cola 300 or whatever we want to call it twice, it's like there's not a sense in that. But so we'll probably run the Roval. We'll probably do a league discussion before we set up the schedule for season 2 on if we want to include the Roval. I know a lot of guys they like the Roval. I'm not a road course guy, so I'm not a fan of it, but I'm not opposed of it either. But I know Speedy, not Speedy. Well, Speedy, yeah, and
Speedy was bad fast there.
Yeah, so and Samo, you're always good when it comes to road courses. So we've got plenty of round tracks. You kind of got to throw that mix of road courses in there. So
I do want to pull Speedy up. Want to hear from him. Speedy, what are you excited for the rest of this season? What are you looking forward to?
Yeah, sorry, Shiesty. I'm kind of in the middle of getting stuff together. I'm headed out of town tomorrow after work, so I'm doing a couple things at once. What am I looking forward to?
Yep.
I mean, I'm looking forward to a win. I mean, like plain and simple. At least somebody on our team. We're always hanging around. Top 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, I'm always up there, beating on the door, and just can never seem to seal the deal. So, and if not me, Beer Stick. I was expecting Beer Stick to already have a win by now. And then you got Trickle and Charton
Looked like
in there.
he was going to have a couple early on this season.
That got postponed due to surgery.
Right. So, and he's just, I think it's been mentioned weeks prior that he's shown a lot of improvement, and Trickle and I both saw that early on, just running in practice with him, that he's gotten a lot better since Heat 5.
Oh, we got a little comment here, quick, from Rooster. Driving through cars will not get you a good finish.
We really need to get Rooster on the show one day.
He was on here last week.
I was about to say, it was on here last week.
But anyways, back to what your question, Chase. I'm also looking forward to some road course racing. I enjoy the road courses. I feel like road courses is where I can kind of tend to stand out. Even though you're going up against a Samo or Josh or Trigun, I mean JPR, all those guys are so hard to beat, and that's plain and simple why I don't have a win yet. But it'll come. Just fucking keep racing hard, and we'll start getting them. Trickle's getting better. I mean, I feel like our team's stout. We just got to seal the deal. And not to mention, it comes down to practice. Past couple of weeks, we just really haven't had a whole lot of practice with the team. And it shows. You can definitely tell that, strategy's not quite where it needs to be. And we just haven't put down the laps that we need to. And we started to run like a full Coke 600 race, but as long as it is, it's hard to see it through. But we want to get out there and see when we need to pit. How much gas do we need? Will 2 tires work, or do we have to take 4 tires? All that stuff, and we try to do that as a team, but it just takes time. And everybody's busy and got shit going on. But I will tell you one thing: Trigun should have ran away with that race. He should have won. However, with cautions and ends of stages and shit, I think there towards the end he got caught up into some shit, and he's definitely by far the biggest standout that I'm seeing. That kid's good, and he's young. Yeah, he's a controller player, but he's had a lot of experience sim racing, and he knows what he's doing. I look for him to probably get another handful of wins before we're said and done.
He's bad fast, and he knows he can keep his car underneath him forever.
Yeah, he definitely. He's fast, and he's pretty clean, and he's a respectful young kid, and he's gonna go out there and freaking set the world on fire for sure.
Is he young? I thought he was like 40 or 50.
No, Trigun's 20.
Is he really? Why does he sound so goddamn old?
I think he's 22 or 23.
Holy shit!
Mm-hmm.
That's
He's
impressive.
I thought he was 20, but maybe he is a little older. But yeah,
I'm 20.
But he's
I'm the youngest.
He's
Good
got
for
a
him.
Moza. Yeah, he's got a Moza R5, and I don't think he can use it for PlayStation. So he's into iRacing, and he does a lot of other racing, and I think he comes from a racing family, so he gets it. He's a racer, so he knows what it takes. So he's tough.
Well, he's got some bad fast speed later on in the run. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, I got one last question.
Now, real quick, to touch on what Speedy said earlier with road courses coming up. Guys, keep in mind, we got 13 days till we're at Chicago.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
Say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
I don't think it'll be that bad. I think
it has nothing to do with my driving. I'm terrified for the people that don't run it and practice it and show up. That's what's going to be scary about it.
Well, it's almost like a hold a mandatory practice. I know you can't make guys get on, but make a mandatory practice saying, "Hey, get in and run with us." I mean, I don't know how you would do that, or
you can mandatory practice me between now and race time, and I still won't open.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough one for a lot of guys.
I've thought about taking this to the committee and saying, look at the you can't mandatory practice every week, but like when with exception of Josh, because he's going to be down there running with Xfinity, but on Sundays when the Xfinity guys are running their race, minus the Cup guys, that the few committee guys that are down there watching them and all that, we need to have the league come together and get out there and keep track of who shows up. And maybe if you don't show up, then for that practice, maybe you don't get to qualify and you have to start at the back. Because the racing's only going to get better with practice. Speedy, I've heard you say it a million times. Practice, practice, practice. If you're not practicing, you're not going to get better. And yeah, everybody's got, personal lives outside of the game, but it's also one of them things. Yeah, we get in here, we have fun and all that. You do have to take it somewhat serious. I mean, if you're just here just to piss off time, go run lobbies. But if you actually commit to a league, that means you're committing that you're going to do your best to better yourself in that league and not just show up at race time and go. So practice is key. But anyways, back to you, Shiesty.
Yeah. Last question. The top 5 is not an easy. It's not an easy bar to get to. What advice would you guys give the people outside the playoffs, looking in, or just people looking to move up in the standings?
Ooh, can I go? Can I go? I honestly would go save this clip, this podcast, and go back and listen to the advice that Samo's saying, that Speedy's saying, that Reb's saying. Listen to those, like guys in the back, go to a Reb or a Samo and be like, hey, especially if you're in a practice, say, hey, can you follow behind me and help me figure out where am I screwing up my lines? Because I think pretty much everybody in here, one, they want good, clean racing, so they'll be willing to help you out drastically. That way, one, they're not worried about when they come up on you like, oh God, am I going to be able to pass this person, or are they going to take me out?
One big thing for me is instead of getting on running 7% races and practice, get on here and run longer practices to where you know what the car is going to do when it starts slipping, and how to alleviate those mistakes as the car's going away. Because we can get out here all day long and run 14%ers, and then you go out and you run a Coke 600 for, an hour and a half long, and you got a totally different car. All of a sudden you're down to 2 laps to go in your fuel, and your tires are shot, and knowing what it's going to do. And every driver in here knows how to run and put down quick laps. It's just those little mistakes, the mistakes in the pits, or just the littlest mistakes will get you caught up. I mean, that's one of the reasons I don't have a win, is because I made too many of those little mistakes throughout the race, and guys are able to capitalize. Reb's able to capitalize. Josh, Samo, all these guys, they're able to pull away because you make those little minute mistakes. And yeah, like I always say, practice, right?
I think maybe for the
100%.
guys in the back, like the back half of the field, concentrate on stage points. If you look at like Speedy is a perfect example, and Team Dark Horse, they have so many stage points, and that's why they're still within 30 points of us. Like concentrate on those, make your race shorter and get your best results in every stage that you possibly can. And concentrate on those, like make it, that 13 per practice your 13% and make those race times as quick as possible. I think I've said this since D2D. Do 13 percenters and take your overall race time and bring it down each time, and that's how you're gonna get faster races. It isn't the lap per lap. It's take your total of a 13% race and bring it down every single time.
Well, hopefully I can take some damn notes from that. And but that's all I got for today.
At the end of the day, the biggest thing I can get from what everybody's saying is practice. Practice, practice, practice. If you can make practice, you're going to get better. That's the answer to it all.
Well, Dick, here's the deal. I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean,
Gotta love Bames. But I'm too excited. We gotta get to this next segment because it's always fun.
Well, real quick before we throw over there, big shout out to Kyle Busch. Captured the pole at Daytona, and right beside him on the front row will be Chase Briscoe. They're going to be locked into the 500. Everybody else, the rest of the field's going to be decided tomorrow night in the duel. So, congratulations, Kyle, on winning the pole for the Daytona 500. Go ahead, Josh.
Thank you very much. This week on Temple's Drama Rama, we got some
I just got 3 things.
Spicy things. No, it's all good. It's all good. Things to come up here in this. So let's just dive right into it. Let's really start knocking it down. The first one, I'll give Bames credit where credit is due. He made this and he sent it to me, and I was like, oh, I'll work it in. That, my friends, is the guy that fucking whips our asses in that fucking 82 car. Fucking my god. Trigun. You guys were saying before, dude's stupid quick. I don't know how he's doing it. A lot of these other controller players are struggling, and he's just smooth sailing. So I don't know what the fuck you got going on there, dude. Is the controller become the new Cronus? That's my question. And if so, he found a way to do it. Jump into the next thing. Shiesty, bring your ass the fuck up here right now. Shiesty sabotaging his own team. Bames, you bring your ass in here too. I want to hear from you two to start off, and Nep, I want you to follow up.
Okay, what are you asking?
Shiesty sabotaging,
right? I don't feel like it's as much sabotaging. I know I've raced Bames a couple times pretty hard. Once fucking his race over, and then a couple times I know
you crashed his game on him this week.
Yeah, you hit me so hard it disconnected my game.
All right. That one I've
and then
got no
the audacity
excuse for.
To say that I spun you. If you watch my stream, you hit the wall and shot 4 car lengths across the track, and then hit my rear bumper, not even the nose.
All right, heat of the moment. No, but in all seriousness, the team needs people to be able to finish the races, whether that's the game kicking you or you leaving. It's just you can't get overall team points if the team doesn't finish. You can have as many 1-2s as you want as a team owner, but in reality, you ain't getting the points if you're 1-2 and then 16th, 17th.
Amen.
Right.
It's got to be the whole team coming together, and that is one thing I don't think we've had yet. We've had team practices. We've had team talks about strategy and what tire pressures you use and all that. I just don't feel we've had a whole 1 week where every single one of us 5 drivers have ran the whole race out completely. I think there's been 1 or 2 drivers each week that either lags out or just says to hell with it, I'm over it. But there's plenty of season left still. Shit can get turned around just as quick as it got started.
You're not my dad!
Well, just remember, and this goes out to you, Nep, too.
Why I played that was because if Shiesty doesn't clean his act up, I might be a free agent. You never know.
Yeah. Dumpster Fire Motorsports is here to help, so just let me know.
Do I get more than 18 races?
I'll let you know. Next on the list.
They don't know what the they're doing. Do you understand that?
Next on the list, and this is one I love to look into. Samoan Speedy walk up to the stage.
Oh shit!
Oh, here we go again.
Yeah, here we go. Buckle up. Put that fucking seatbelt on, dude. Art of Mind
I'd put the
Games
5
back.
point on.
I just got.
Art of fucking Mind Games back, man. What's going on?
All right, so here's the deal. You know, we're out there, we're running hard, right? And 5 laps to go. I'm in third, Samo's in fourth. We're behind you and JP, and just fucking running hard, right? I'm like, motherfucker, Samo fucking spun me. Well, here's the thing. I did the exact same thing to Trickle a few laps before that, and didn't even realize it. Like, I realized Trickle spun, but I thought Trickle came down on me a little bit. And I don't know. It was the exact same thing Samo and I got into. I did to my teammate, and I just see how fucking easy and how fast shit goes wrong. So I wasn't even mad about it. I wasn't even mad about something that aggravates me is being accused of something that I'm not doing. And I know Samo, he put something out there on the message board saying, "Hey, I know you tried to draw the caution out." No, there's no way in hell I'd ever do that. And not to mention, there's no guarantee you're gonna get a caution. Yeah, I'm trying to get my car straightened back up so I can get down to the track and get the race finished. And you guys can go out there and try to draw a caution, but 9 times out of 10, a caution's not even gonna come out, right? So
you almost killed Shiesty.
Oh, I killed somebody because I went back and looked at it, and somebody ran right into me. So I guess that was Shiesty.
I didn't run into you, but you gave me a nice fucking squeeze in between yourself and the wall.
But I could see how that looked when I went back and looked at it, because the car was out of control. I was spinning. I think I may have hit the inside wall, and then the car kind of slowly comes up and hits the outside wall. So I can understand how that looks.
Creeping, and I was like, Speedy, get on the damn brakes.
No, and I'm sitting there trying to get the wheel straightened back out so I can get the car straightened. I didn't think a caution was coming out. I thought it was done. That was the race. So it is what it is, right? And I was not upset about it in no way, shape, or form. It's, dude, you get to somebody's quarter panel at all, coming off of these corners at those speeds. That's just the way it is, and we all know this by now. I mean, we know what's going to happen, and I know it, and I did it to Trickle. Which I greatly apologize about. So I know how easy it is.
Okay.
So I don't know. It is what it is.
Well, and like I said before, I put a message out saying that because that's what I felt at the time. And I didn't say it public. I didn't say it to everybody. I just said it to the front office people. But I guess maybe he got offended and got in the chat, which I understand. So it's I'll take that. I'll take full responsibility, and that's my fault, and I apologize for that, Speedy, for accusing you of something without even coming to you first and talking to you about it. And that's on me.
I appreciate it. Yeah, it's I would never do such a thing, and I would expect if anybody did do such a thing, they would be either booted out of the league or or 3 race suspension, something. There's got to be some sort of repercussion for trying to draw a caution. But we got to know that like I said, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get that caution. And I probably wouldn't have if Shiesty, hadn't hit me as I was coming up the track. But I don't know. It was just one of those things. I mean, we all know how quick it is to spin somebody, and especially we're towards the end of the race. We got 5 laps to go. We're all fucking racing hard. In
my defense, I had put 10 passes on and let off 1,000,000 times to not get into you, and I still held my inside. And it's a racing incident. I get it. I'll take blame if you want. I'm cool with that. Don't care. But like I said, my bad for accusing you of something that you didn't do.
All right, I appreciate it.
Now, I'll give credit. One thing, Samo, you said something, but you said it in the owner's chat and all that instead of going into the actual league chat and just blowing up. I greatly appreciate that because the last thing that we want for the league is to have our main league
Yeah, I
chat
didn't want
to
anybody
be
else to know
blown up.
about it.
Yeah,
And I
to
even
be
messaged
blown.
Speedy today and I said if people don't know, I'm just gonna apologize to you on air about whatever situation it is. I won't mention it, but since it's already mentioned out there, it is what it is.
Yeah, and I came in back into the chat last night, and I was after seeing what you had put on there, and then I heard maybe Shiesty and somebody else talking about it. Maybe it was Bames, and then I just I
I was
assumed. I was like,
muted. I
oh
hadn't even
wow,
talked in the chat. I was just clipping my videos and I was completely muted. Never said
yeah,
anything.
Me and
They were
Shiesty were
talking
talking
about
about
it.
it on the side. It was nobody else,
yeah.
just me and Shiesty.
The funny thing was, we weren't even talking about it.
Yeah.
It was over Messenger.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
you guys were like, "What the fuck was up with Speedy? He fucking wrecked me to bring out a caution, blah blah blah." Because I could see I was doing like
Maybe don't
20
wreck people
miles
to try to
an
bring out a
hour
caution.
going straight into the wall. So I
So
can
it just
understand
looked
how it
like
looks.
at first you were creeping up the track and
Yeah,
not trying
yeah.
to straighten out or nothing, and I was running out of room between you and the damn wall, and I was
Yeah.
like, well, that just fucked me over because
But
now
while
I
we're
got
here,
damage to repair. And
on this
Right.
fucking point, Speedy, I don't know if you got off the gas or off the brake or what at the end, but brother, I think you could have held that car down without it going up to that wall. I watched that
Yeah, I
video
don't know, dude. I
50
was.
times that you sent, and I was like, he
Dude,
got off the
I was
brakes.
doing everything I could, dude. I'm fighting the wheel. That fucking wheel's going this way and that. So I don't know. I did everything, and I will continue to do everything I can to get the car straightened out and get it going down the track. Because I'm going to assume that the caution's not coming out because it never fucking does any other time I get into a wreck usually. So, you know.
Look at Reb. He ended up going a couple laps down because of incident on the track. Got spun. Caution didn't come out. He got behind. Got down and all, and he worked his way back up. Unfortunately, like I believe when that incident happened with you, Speedy, we were at a good run going on. So tires wearing and all that. That's one thing I've learned. When you get towards the later part of a run, it's hard to keep those grips.
Oh, for sure. And you're running hard because you're in contention to maybe get a win, right? Like JP and Josh were right there. Yeah, I had Samo right behind me. I mean, we were in a place to where we could have pounced, 3 or 4 more laps, we were there. Something could have happened. So it's just fucking heat of the moment. We're racing hard.
Well,
that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
That's why we play this fucking game, right? Is for those instances like that. Unfortunately, sometimes you get caught up in the
chances.
shit.
Yeah, you take chances. It's like I talked about earlier with Trickle taking the 2 tires at the one track, and it bit him in the ass. Had it worked out, it could have been a damn good strategy for him. Just didn't work out. Me personally, go back to Daytona. If I sit there and I stay behind you all the way down, down the back straight, and then make my move to the outside, going into 3 or coming out of 4, I might be able to slingshot past you and Bames for the win. But got antsy, come out of turn 2, come off your back bumper, and had to go for it then, and I lost all momentum. So, I get it 100%, especially when you're running right there and you're like with you're right there on the cusp of a win almost every race. You're right there. So, and that you've got a winning car and that you can compete for that win. So, I'll honestly say, out of everybody that is in the Cup and that I know of in Xfinity, there's some guys that I haven't got the chance to really run with and all that. But the core group, especially the Cup, and a good bit of the Xfinity guys, we've got a clean league. Nobody's really out there just purposely trying to wreck people. Do we get into each other? Yeah, it's going to happen. But I don't think we have any dirty drivers. But definitely, coming from president or whatever you want to call my title, with that situation, if I really felt that it was you actually purposely drew a caution, I probably would have came to you and be like, "Hey, Speedy, something's got to go because it doesn't look right." Well, why is it he can get away with it? But I don't feel like you purposely drew the caution, even if you said what you said. But yeah, for everybody listen, if you do purposely draw a caution, cause a wreck or whatever just to benefit your situation, there will be actions done no matter what management has said about, oh, no penalties will be issued. Something like that, that's way over the limit of what's allowed and not allowed.
Well, and there's no guarantee you're going to get that caution, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You go out there
Especially
and
with
fuck your
relaxed.
shit up. And I don't think there's no doubt in my mind that we all want to race, we all want to run clean, we all want to do good, we all want to win races, right? So, and it's shown. The past 3 weeks at least, it has shown that the racing's been really good. I mean, this was a great week of racing in my eyes. We had last week. We had a real good race at Martinsville. I mean, yeah, people get caught up into shit. That's racing. But it to me it feels like the racing has been really good.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's definitely been really good, but like back to this whole caution aspect thing and certain things. In all honesty, I know people won't come out and say it, but a couple races, especially going through people's replays and watching certain things, there's people out there trying to get cautions. They're out there trying to put someone in a bad spot to yeet them off the corner, and hopefully they stack up the field, wherever the case may be. Especially if there's an accident going on, if someone sees a car spinning, half of the league is driving into that car to get the caution. They're not braking and trying to go under. They see the car up against the wall. Okay, I'm gonna go straight line it real quick. I know a caution's gonna come out if I do it. If you hit a car hard enough, especially on those relaxed cautions, especially when it's wide open, it's gonna throw that caution when both your cars are just fucking tumbling down the straightaway. That's the one thing I've been picking up on, especially with
They
that.
don't know what the they're doing. Do you understand that?
Exactamundo, and it's just people are definitely out here trying to push to get that from the game to go off. Because I'm gonna go back and keep saying it, especially these replays definitely speak a lot and they show a lot. So if you are a person that sends it all the time or posts it or go live out there all the time, we're watching. We're watching and we're disappointed as fuck.
Right. I mean, from where we came, from where we came to where we are now,
Virgo, did you just come?
let's just right. You know,
The line of the
I'm
week
gonna
yesterday.
say there's a reason why we are in the next gen racing league, and we're not in D2D. And the reason for that being is when we were in D2D, the wrecking was just ridiculous, and it nobody was enjoying the racing. Josh, you got, you know, we try not to really talk too much about D2D, but realistically, you got so fed up with the bullshit that you just shut things down.
Oh yeah, because
And
the issue was with that situation is the people, returning people, were being bigger issues than the brand new people that were in the game. And that's one thing that blew my fucking mind. And the fact that it was continuously getting worse every race, yeah, no, I didn't need that shit. Fuck that. I put way too much time and energy into that fucking league for it to be what it turned out to be. Yeah, no, I at that point it was cutting it. cutting it fucking off at the fucking cord, and we were done. So the next gen's
Ain't
cool.
nobody got time for that.
Things are different, but whatever. I don't have to stress about anything, so that's the one thing that I really enjoy.
I wasn't trying to say D2D was a shit show or anything like that. It's just that, the wrecking that was going on. And then fast forward to where we're at now. Yeah, we have situations here and there, what happened. But I think we're getting a lot more, like Speedy said, the racing's getting a lot better. I mean, we ran caution free at Bristol. I want to say we were caution free at Martinsville. So it was good racing, and people getting into each other. But yeah, and I do agree. If there's a car spinning, if I'm coming up on a car and they're in the wall, I'm trying to think, okay, which momentum is their car going to go? Is he going to go down? Is he going to go up? So that I know how. I don't want to let off and lose control of my car, but I also don't want to just drive her in there because, like, once again, like Speedy said, you're not guaranteed to get a caution. So if you see somebody spun out and you think, oh, well, I can T-bone them, there's no guarantee you're going to get that caution. Now you're sitting there running around the track with a severe damaged car.
Not only that, exactly. The biggest thing that'll cost you spots on pit road, especially under green flag pitting, is repairing damage. You'll go laps down just repairing 7 seconds of damage. You'll go an extra lap down, and then you're stuck there. Even small stuff. Even 2 or 3 seconds that it costs you is 10 seconds of track time.
It's like the ones that every lap they're coming out of the turns and their car's washing up and they're popping that wall. Every time they hit that wall, it's fucking up the left side of their car. And I've noticed that if you get a little bit of damage and your arrow's got you get just a little bit off your arrow, it just completely slows your car down than what you're capable of. So if you're having that issue, you need to start working on your, practicing on your lines and your entries, because a lot of it, some of it of that situation, some of it's just a matter of how people's going into the turns, and
backing your corners up does tremendous work.
Yep.
Does tremendous things.
And Samoa has said it before. This game, you can't be braking and turning at the same time. You almost got to brake and then go into turn, or turn and then once you get into the turn, then braking. You can't expect it to be braking and turning at the exact same time.
Right. That's like Smo kind of put it in our heads, which is something I've always known in racing, but it's something you don't really think about because we don't short track race a lot, is you can't brake and turn at the same time. I mean, you can, but you're not going to turn good at all. You're just going to go straight to the wall. And he mentioned that a couple times, I believe. I know at least once or twice while I was racing with him, and I respect him for that. And that's one thing you gotta remember is roll the corners off throttle and less brake. It's going to turn better. You'll notice better in speed. You just got to let off and brake a little entering and just back it up. You ain't got to dive bomb it. It ain't going to work.
Exactly that. All right. Well, that was the last segment. Well, last part of my segment. So, without further ado, let's shout out. Yep. Before I even get into the sponsor side of things, Daytona's this weekend. Finally, we're back in racing for NASCAR. Bames.
I just got 3 things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
That was
every time.
That was by far the best thing that anyone has ever done to start a fucking race.
Between, I had to say, between that, gentlemen, start your engine, and then the Texas Preacher are probably 2 of the best that I've ever heard.
Yeah, the Preacher was good too.
But God,
My
thank
smoking
you, God,
hot
for my
wife.
smoking hot wife.
Yeah. But before I dive into the rest of this stuff, I just want to say thank you, Reb. Thank you, Samo. Thank you, Speedy. Thank you, Beams. Thank you all for showing up tonight. Giving the show a little extra tonight. We were messing a little bit of the Xfinity side of things, but you guys came and filled in perfect. So thank you very much
And
for showing up.
one thing before we shut down, I just want
Yeah.
to literally say to Speedy that I do apologize, and I'm still going to beat him.
See you on the track, big boy.
Yeah. All right, buddy.
Oh, there it is.
Hey,
Perfect.
guys, remember, you got 3 days till Valentine's. So if you ain't got that woman a gift, you better get out there and get one.
Amen.
Fuck that bitch.
Get her a butt plug.
Gave it to her tonight.
Yep. All right, so let's jump
I
into
could
these.
just. Never mind.
Let's jump into these. Again, want to thank W for partnering with me. If you go to their website, you type in my promo code temp26, get 10% off your order. Shit's good, shit works, and it's right to a T what it's there for. So definitely try it out for sure. First place auto glass, that's Bob Robert Leonard, great guy. If you're over in Western New York, definitely check him out if you need an auto glass guy. Last but not least, Chad Lewis Weatherington, and the House of Vets organization, built for veterans, backed by the community. It's a great cause. It's a great thing. They're out here helping veterans with anything that they need, and they're out here supporting them. That's the big thing. But again, thank you everyone for showing up tonight, being a part of the show. Just keep it rolling week by week, and without further ado, Nep Shiesty, can we hit it this time?
There's only one way to find out.
Yep. 1, 2, 3. To be continued.
continued.
We're terrible as fuck. All right, guys.
We gotta start